Hello everyone. Today I am sharing a video of a girl building a two-story house made of bamboo. She's searching carefully for the perfect spot to build her house. When she finally finds a suitable location under a small hill, with a machete in hand, she clears the surrounding grass and prepares the ground. Once the grass is cleared, she grabs a hoe and starts leveling the ground. After leveling the initial surface, she switches to a shovel, loosening the soil to make it more workable. She takes her time, carefully turning over the earth to ensure a solid foundation. Once the soil is properly aerated, she picks up the hoe again and meticulously smooths the ground, creating a perfectly level base. After preparing the ground, she grabs her machete and sets off into the forest, determined to gather the materials needed for the house's foundation. With her machete in hand, she skillfully chops down the trees, each swing deliberate and precise. Once felled, she gathers the logs and hauls them back to the building site. But her work doesn't stop there. Knowing that bamboo will be the key to constructing the walls and structure, she heads back into the forest once more. With her machete, she starts cutting bamboo stalks, picking out the thickest and most durable ones. After chopping down just the right amount, she carefully gathers the bamboo and carries it back to the site. She takes a tape measure to carefully measure the dimensions of the ground. She marks the layout of the house on the earth. With precision, she uses a small shovel to dig a series of holes along the perimeter of the house's foundation. Next, she takes a saw and cuts the long wooden logs into shorter pieces, each about 1 meter in length. She then returns to the holes, carefully placing each wooden post vertically into the earth, ensuring they are set deeply and securely. She continues by securing the long wooden logs at the back of the structure, positioning them carefully to create the foundation for the second floor. Using more long wooden beams, she begins tying them to the vertical posts that make up the framework of the house. Around waist height, she lays horizontal beams along the perimeter of the structure, ensuring they are evenly spaced and properly secured. Using strong wire, she fastens each horizontal beam tightly to the vertical post, creating a stable and durable frame. Once the horizontal wooden beams are securely in place, she begins laying bamboo stalks across them to form the floor frame for the first story. Once the first floor bamboo framework is in place, she climbs up onto the platform of the first floor to continue to work on the second. Carefully, she begins placing long wooden beams, positioning them high above her head. With each beam, she securely ties them to the vertical posts using wire. After these beams are in place, she begins the next step, laying bamboo stalks horizontally across the wooden frame. She arranges each bamboo piece, making sure they are secure and aligned, forming the second floor's foundation. The bamboo is fastened firmly to the wooden beams, creating a solid and reliable surface for the next stage of the house. Continuing her work, she now focuses on the roof structure. She takes her long wooden beams and carefully attaches them to the tops of the vertical posts, one at each corner of the second floor. Once these beams are in place, she moves to the center of the frame, where she installs a central crossbeam that rises upward, forming the peak of the frame roof. This crossbeam is crucial as it defines the highest point of the roof and ensures that the overall structure will have a proper slant. Next, she starts adding more wooden beams, positioning them both vertically and horizontally along the sloping sides of the roof. These beams will reinforce the structure and provide a framework for attaching the roofing material later on. As she places each beam, she carefully adjusts the angle to follow the slope of the roof, making sure that the frame remains balanced and symmetrical. Each piece of wood is firmly tied to the other with strong wire, ensuring that the entire roof structure is sturdy and can bear the weight of whatever material will cover it. The roof is now solidly supported, with the beams creating a strong and secure structure that will protect the house from the elements. She heads back into the forest, this time in search of large palm leaves to cover the roof. With her machete in hand, she carefully selects the best and largest leaves. After gathering enough leaves, she carefully bundles them together and begins her journey back to the house. She takes thin bamboo strips that she has already split and begins weaving them together to form a large rectangular bamboo frame. With careful precision, she lays the bamboo strips across the frame. As she works, the strips form small diamond-shaped patterns across the frame, creating a tight, interwoven structure. She carefully arranges the palm leaves one by one, stacking them neatly before carrying them up to the second floor. Starting from the bottom edge of the roof, she begins placing each palm leaf into the bamboo frame, ensuring they overlap slightly to create a solid, waterproof layer. With each leaf, she tightly ties them into place, using strong wire to secure them firmly to the bamboo framework. Once one side of the roof is complete, once the thatch is securely in place on both sides of the roof, she takes the rectangular bamboo frame she wove earlier and places it on top of the thatch roof. She carefully trims the excess palm leaves hanging beneath the edge of the roof, making sure the edges are neat and tidy. With the roof completed, she turns her attention to building the staircase. She carefully selects for straight, sturdy logs and uses a saw to cut them in for equal lengths. These logs will form the frame for the staircase. Once the cutting is done, she positions the logs vertically, placing them from the ground up to the edge of the first floor platform. She takes smaller wooden pieces and attaches them in pairs to the main frame, creating the structure for each step. With each pair of wooden pieces, she ensures they are firmly fixed. She measures and cuts a long bamboo stalk into equal, manageable sections, each piece cut to the desired length for the steps. With her machete in hand, she skillfully splits each of these bamboo sections into thin, slender strips. She arranges each bamboo piece carefully, aligning them across the framework of the steps, making sure they fit snugly and evenly. Once in place, she uses nails to securely fasten each bamboo strip to the frame, ensuring that the steps are stable and solid. After completing the main staircase, she turns her attention to another important detail, a small slide next to the staircase. Using more thin bamboo strips, she places them at an angle from the ground up to the first floor platform. The bamboo is laid in a slanted position, forming a smooth, gentle incline. She begins by splitting more bamboo into thin strips, just like before. Carefully, she arranges the bamboo strips side by side along the edge of the staircase. After completing the floor around the staircase, she moves on to the next stage of flooring for the entire first floor. She cuts more bamboo poles to match the width of the first floor platform. With precision, she uses her machete to split these bamboo pieces into thin, flat strips. These thin bamboo pieces will form the surface of the floor, adding both beauty and functionality to the space. Once she has enough bamboo strips, she begins arranging them across the floor frame, placing each strip closely together to ensure there are no gaps. She carefully aligns the bamboo, making sure it fits snugly across the entire platform. Instead of nails, she uses thin wire to secure each bamboo strip to the wooden frame. She wraps the wire tightly around each bamboo piece, ensuring a secure and stable fit. With the first floor completed, she moves on to the second. She continues the same process, laying bamboo strips evenly across the second floor framework. Just like the first floor, she ensures each piece fits tightly together. To reinforce the floor, she adds horizontal bamboo pieces across the strips, securing them with more thin wire, ensuring everything stays firmly in place. This additional support guarantees the second floor surface is just as sturdy as the first. Gradually, the second floor begins to come together, completing the bamboo flooring of the entire house. After finishing the floors, she turns her attention to strengthening the structure of the house. She selects several long wooden logs and carefully measures them to ensure they match the width of the first floor frame. Using her saw, she cuts the logs into shorter, equal lengths that will fit perfectly across the width of the house. Once she has enough pieces, she begins reinforcing the first floor frame. She carefully places the cut logs horizontally across the structure. With precision, she uses nails to secure each log firmly into place, reinforcing the frame and ensuring the stability of the entire structure. She moves to the front of the first floor platform and begins cutting a square section of the floor to create an opening for the staircase. Once the square is cut out, she focuses on the four corners of the opening, where she will place the supports for the stairway. With careful precision, she digs for holes at each of the corners of the square, ensuring they are deep enough to securely hold the posts. Next, she selects for straight, sturdy logs, each one cut to an equal length. Using her saw, she trims the logs to the proper size, making sure each one is the same height. Once ready, she positions the logs into the holes she dug earlier. She then uses nails to firmly secure the short logs to the tops of the posts, making sure each connection is strong and stable. She begins by positioning for angled logs, each placed from the first floor to the top of the four vertical posts, creating the structure for the stairs. Once the logs are aligned properly, she secures them in place with nails, making sure they are firmly fixed to support the weight of the stairs. Next, she uses shorter logs to create horizontal rungs for the steps. With the bottom section of the staircase complete, she moves to the top of the post. From here, she repeats the same process, this time using for new pieces of wood to form angled supports from the top of the post up to the second floor platform. These angled logs create the second part of the staircase, leading from the top of the first section up to the second floor. She nails each pair of horizontal pieces tightly into place, ensuring that each step is stable and securely attached to the angled logs. She gathers several long bamboo stalks and arranges them in one spot, preparing to cut them into pieces for the staircase. Using a measuring tape, she carefully measures and marks each bamboo stalk, ensuring that all the pieces will be the same length. She then takes her saw and cuts the bamboo into evenly sized sections. With the bamboo pieces cut, she continues the process by using her machete to split each section into thin, flat strips. Once she has enough bamboo strips, she carries them over to the staircase framework. She begins by carefully arranging the thin bamboo pieces on each step, starting from the lowest step and working her way up. When she reaches the top of the vertical post, she continues by arranging the bamboo strips to form a solid platform, creating a surface that connects the top of the post. From there, she begins working on the remaining steps, continuing the process until the staircase is complete, leading up to the second floor. Once all the bamboo strips are arranged evenly across the steps, she uses nails to secure each strip in place, making sure every piece is tightly fastened to the wooden framework. Next, she adds safety railings along the sides of the staircase. She carefully positions more thin bamboo strips at an angle, following the slope of the staircase. These strips are placed along both sides to provide support and safety as one climbs the stairs. Once the bamboo railings are aligned properly, she nails them securely to the posts and horizontal beams, ensuring they are firmly attached. Just like the small slide, these protective rails offer both stability and a natural aesthetic, completing the staircase with both beauty and safety. She continues by using more thin bamboo strips to create a protective barrier around the wooden posts of the house, starting from the ground and working her way up. She carefully arranges the bamboo pieces horizontally, placing them along the edges of the posts, starting from the base and moving upward. With precision, she nails each bamboo strip into place, securing it firmly to the post. She continues by building a protective barrier around the edge of the first floor platform. Starting from the outer edge of the floor and working her way down to the ground, she arranges the bamboo strips vertically, ensuring they align neatly along the perimeter of the platform. She moves on to refine the structure by using thin bamboo strips to reinforce the corners of the vertical posts and the edges of the first floor platform. Carefully, she positions the bamboo strips at the corners where the posts meet the floor, as well as along the outer edges of the platform. She carefully selects a long bamboo stalk and begins by measuring it out, using a saw to cut the bamboo into short pieces, each about the length of her hand. After the pieces are cut, she uses her machete to split them into thin, flat strips, ensuring they are evenly sized and ready for use. She begins the next step by taking the thin bamboo strips and arranging them along the posts of the first floor framework. Starting at the bottom edge, she carefully places each bamboo piece against the post, aligning them vertically. Working methodically, she nails each strip firmly into place, securing them to the wooden posts of the first floor. As she moves from one post to the next, she repeats the process, completing the bamboo lining for each of the posts on the first floor. She proceeds by taking more of the long, thin bamboo strips to reinforce the posts of the first floor framework further. Carefully, she aligns these bamboo strips vertically along the posts, focusing on the corners where she previously added the bamboo strips. These additional reinforcements provide extra support and stability to the structure, ensuring that the framework is both sturdy and well secured. She nails each strip into place, attaching them firmly along the posts to create a seamless layer of bamboo reinforcement. The strips are precisely positioned at each corner, wrapping around the post and enhancing the rigidity of the house. She gathers the thin bamboo strips and brings them up to the second floor, ready to attach them to the framework posts on this level. The structure of the second floor consists of four square-shaped frameworks, each made up of a vertical wooden post, creating solid support pillars for the entire level. Starting from the base of each framework, she carefully places the bamboo strips against the posts, arranging them evenly as she works her way up. With precision, she nails each strip securely, ensuring that the bamboo stays firmly attached to the wooden posts. Once she finishes covering one framework, she moves on to the next, repeating the process until all four square frameworks on the second floor are wrapped in bamboo. After completing the main covering, she then reinforces the corners of each framework by adding additional thin bamboo strips along the vertical edges. These corner strips add further strength and create a neat, cohesive appearance. With each square post fully reinforced, the second floor framework now has both stability and a refined, natural look that complements the overall design of the bamboo house. She moves back down to the first floor, bringing with her long bamboo stalks. Carefully, she measures each stalk to match the width of the second floor platform, ensuring they are cut to the correct length to align perfectly with the structure above. Starting from just below the edge of the second floor platform, she measures about 2 hand spans down toward the first floor. She begins attaching the long bamboo pieces horizontally around the perimeter of the second floor platform, creating a parallel reinforcement line just below the upper floor. Next, she takes thin bamboo strips and positions them vertically along the newly added horizontal frame below the second floor. Starting at the bottom frame, she aligns each bamboo strip, extending it up to the edge of the second floor platform. With steady hands, she nails each strip into place, creating an even, secure attachment. Working carefully around the perimeter, she continues to place the bamboo strips side by side, ensuring they are closely spaced to form a solid bamboo barrier. The strips create a natural, cohesive look, almost like a bamboo fence encircling the upper floor framework. Once she finishes one side, she moves to the next, repeating the process until the entire perimeter of the second floor is surrounded by this protective bamboo paneling. She continues her work by carefully measuring each of the long bamboo stalks, cutting them to match the width of the second floor platform. With precision and patience, she uses her machete to split each piece into thin bamboo strips, preparing them meticulously for the next step. This process of splitting bamboo is delicate, as each strip needs to be even and smooth to fit seamlessly into the structure. Taking the thin bamboo strips, she begins reinforcing the corners of the newly created bamboo barrier around the edge of the second floor. These strips are secured at the corners, where they add extra strength to the framework and ensure that the bamboo railing remains stable and resilient. She nails each strip firmly, paying close attention to align them neatly along each corner. With a full load of bamboo on her shoulders, she makes her way back to the house. Once she has gathered enough bamboo, she begins the next phase by measuring the wall frames on the first floor. She selects long bamboo stalks and begins sawing them into shorter segments. These shorter bamboo pieces will serve as the main structure for the walls, and their uniformity is crucial for creating a balanced, interwoven appearance. Next, using her tools with practiced skill, she begins carving a narrow groove along each of the larger bamboo segments. She proceeds to install the prepared bamboo pieces, starting with 2 large bamboo beams that have been carefully grooved. She positions these horizontally within the wall frame on the front side of the house. She begins to insert the shorter bamboo segments vertically into the grooves of the 2 large beams, sliding it into the grooves and ensuring they are evenly spaced. Continuing her work, she extends the bamboo wall upward from the previously installed horizontal beams, carefully adding more vertical bamboo segments. As she builds, she deliberately leaves a large square space in the center of the wall to create a window. The window is designed to let in light and air, providing a functional and aesthetic feature in the front wall of the house. Once the front wall is completed, she moves on to the remaining walls, using the same technique to ensure consistency across the structure. She places 2 large bamboo beams horizontally across the frame of each wall, securing them in place. Then, she inserts the shorter bamboo segments into the grooves of the beams, continuing to work her way up the frame, just as she did with the front wall. Using a hammer, she drives nails through the bamboo beams, nailing the horizontal and vertical pieces together to reinforce the structure. Each segment is positioned with precision, ensuring the bamboo fits tightly together, creating a solid, woven surface. For each of these walls, she also leaves a square opening in the center, ensuring each side of the house has a window for ventilation and light. Once the first floor walls are complete, she moves up to the second floor to begin work on the walls there. Just like on the first floor, she starts by securing the bamboo beams with grooves into the frame of the house. Carefully, she slides each short bamboo segment into the grooves, one by one, ensuring they fit tightly and securely. For the side walls, she follows a similar process, but with smaller, rectangular openings for windows. She continues to slide the bamboo segments into place, leaving gaps for the windows, which will provide light and ventilation. These windows are designed to be smaller than the front door, adding a subtle but balanced contrast to the design. On the rear wall of the second floor, she takes extra care to ensure the entire wall is completely solid, with no gaps or openings. She reinforces the wall, filling every space with bamboo, ensuring maximum stability and privacy. The back wall becomes the strongest part of the structure, providing protection from the elements while maintaining the natural aesthetic of the bamboo. For the front wall on the second floor, she places the bamboo beams vertically on either side of the space, creating a frame for the door. From the bottom to the top of the frame, she arranges the bamboo segments vertically, leaving a rectangular opening in the middle to form the doorway. This creates a natural entryway into the second floor, adding to the functionality and aesthetic of the structure. The door frame is positioned precisely to allow enough space for easy movement between floors. She carries the ladder inside the house and brings along her toolbox. She takes out the drill and carefully inserts the battery. She measures each frame carefully, marking down the dimensions for accuracy. Once the measurements are done, she moves outside to the pile of bamboo. She selects the appropriate pieces based on her measurements, then uses her saw to cut the bamboo to the exact lengths needed for the window frames. Each bamboo piece is carefully cut to match the measurements she had taken earlier. She checks them one last time for size and alignment, ensuring each piece is the correct length and will fit perfectly into the frame. After cutting the pieces, she arranges them in groups, ready to be assembled into the window frames. She moves back to the window frame and carefully places a split bamboo piece along the top edge of the window frame. Then, she pulls out her measuring tape and marks for evenly spaced points along the length of the bamboo. Once the points are marked, she grabs her drill and begins to carefully drill small holes at each of the marked spots. After finishing the holes, she picks up her smaller bamboo pieces, each carefully measured to fit. She places one end of each small bamboo piece into the holes she just drilled in the long bamboo bar. The other ends are then placed into corresponding holes on another bamboo piece that will form the other side of the window frame. Satisfied with the alignment, she carefully places the newly formed window into the window frame she built earlier. Holding the window in place, she takes the drill again, securing the bamboo pieces into the frame with screws to keep them in place. After assembling each window frame, she carefully inserts them into the window openings on the second floor. With her drill, she fastens them securely to the structure. She carefully measures the height and width of the second floor main door frame, ensuring that each dimension is accurate to create a perfectly fit door. With these measurements, she selects several bamboo pieces, choosing strong, straight ones that will form the main frame of the door. She marks the bamboo pieces and then saws them to match the exact dimensions of the doorway, handling each piece with precision. Next, she drills small holes at the ends of each bamboo piece, marking each spot carefully so the pieces will fit together seamlessly. Using a knife, she carves notches at these drill points, preparing them for a snug fit. Once the pieces are ready, she joins them, assembling a solid rectangular frame that will serve as the door's structure. She selects then flexible bamboo strips and begins weaving them within the door frame, alternating long and short pieces in a woven pattern that adds strength to the structure while also giving it a unique, handcrafted look. Each strip is placed with care, and she secures them by drilling screws into the frame, ensuring the strips stay in place. Once the door is fully assembled, she carries it to the door frame on the second floor. She holds it up, aligns it precisely within the frame. She moves back down to the first floor to start work on the railing that will wrap around the edges of the floor. She begins by measuring the perimeter of the floor. With her measurements in hand, she carefully saws long bamboo pieces into segments that match the length of each side of the floor. She places one of the long bamboo pieces horizontally along the edge of the floor, aligning it with the marking she made. Using her drill, she makes evenly spaced holes along this piece, ensuring each one is aligned perfectly for a uniform look. With the bigger drill bit attached, she begins to make the larger holes, going slowly and steadily to avoid any cracking or splitting in the bamboo. Next, she selects shorter bamboo segments that will act as the vertical bars of the railing. She inserts one end of each short piece into the holes she drilled in the bottom horizontal bamboo rail, positioning them vertically at regular intervals. Then, she takes another horizontal bamboo piece and aligns it parallel to the first, drilling matching holes that allow her to insert the tops of the vertical bars into it. This creates a grid-like structure, with each vertical bar securely locked between the two horizontal rails. Next, she begins working on the railing for the staircase leading from the first floor to the second. Using the same method she applied to the previous railing, She carefully places bamboo pieces along each step of the staircase, forming secure sections of railing as she moves upward. She aligns each segment and uses the larger drill bit to create reinforced holes for stronger, thicker bamboo posts. Piece by piece, she assembles the railing, ensuring every connection is firm and stable for safe movement up and down the stairs. Carefully, she secures the connections, tightening each with screws to make sure the structure is stable and won't shift. She tests each bar by gently pressing it to confirm that it holds firmly. As she finishes each section of the railing, the result is a series of neat, square openings that form a protective. Once the staircase railing is complete, she moves up to the second floor to continue installing the perimeter railing around the open edges of the floor. Following the same technique, she measures and cuts bamboo segments to match the edge dimensions, then drills evenly spaced holes along the floor's perimeter to hold the vertical posts. She inserts each bamboo piece carefully, creating a solid barrier around the edge of the floor. After completing the cleaning, she carefully collects each leftover bamboo fragment. She gathers all the remaining bamboo pieces left on both the second and first floors, carrying them down to the ground. With the extra bamboo neatly stored away, she takes out a broom and begins sweeping the floors, starting from the second floor and working her way down to the first. She carefully sweeps every corner, clearing away small debris, dust, and bamboo shavings left over from the building process. With everything clean and organized, the bamboo house now truly feels like a completed, livable space.